It's been raining all night, so hopefully it eases up when first light comes upon us, but doesn't look like it's going to happen. So we'll get out of the tent in about half an hour and go see if there's any sambar out feeding in this misty rain. Fingers crossed. I'm so tired. And there's no deer. I don't even know what I'm doing. Well, I've had some frustrating hunts and quite a few times I've been mad at myself for different reasons, but that right there was up there with one of I don't even know what to say. I came to full draw on that velvet spiker. It was 35 yards, and as I anchored, my feet weren't right, they weren't comfortable, and I also needed to shift a little bit to make my shooting lane, which was small already, but I needed to shift a little bit to make it a little bit bigger. There was a couple of trees in front of him, like little branches, and as I've shifted, my back foot has slipped on a rock and I've punched the trigger. I shouldn't have even had my finger near the trigger, but so the arrow's gone off about a meter above him and he's taken off. Well, I don't know why anyone would be mad enough to try and film themselves arrow a sambar. It's bloody hard work, and as you saw in the footage, I was very close, but again, if I didn't have the camera, very high chance that little spiker would be in the back of my ute going home to the freezer. So anyway, it's just one of those things, but it's getting dark now, so Remi and I are going to head out of here, hopefully next time. Well, what can I say? Filming yourself while rifle shooting with the dog's pretty challenging in itself and pretty frustrating. You've got to be pretty patient, but doing it with the bow, it's on a whole new level. I'd sat over that wallow for 4 hours and it's nearly pitch black now. I've just got back to the car and hind came out about, it would have been about 5 PM she came out, and she started coming down towards the wallow to have a drink. There's quite a few wallows in the gully, but I picked that one to sit over because it was the most active, and
the hind was coming down, and I thought, perfect, this will be great for the bow. The wallow was only 20 yards away from where I was, and in the corner of my eye I could see Remi starting to shake, so she was getting pretty excited. She knew the deer was there, and at about 30 yards Remi started growling, and I was trying to shut her up, and the hind just stopped and honked and took off. So it's just one of those things. Lucky it wasn't a big 30-incher or something like that, but probably good practice for Remi anyway, so I'll keep at it. It's just another one of those frustrating hunts that I seem to be having quite a few of lately, but it's just the way it goes. What do you reckon, Rem? What do you reckon, eh? Well, that was probably one of the most frustrating hunts that I've ever been on. I got to within, it was probably about 30-40 yards. I didn't have time to range him because he already knew I was onto him, and the shot fell way too short, and I've nicked his front leg, so he's got away basically unscathed. He's going to survive that, no worries at all. And I've got probably a 3-4k walk back to the car. It's been a big walk in, and I'm just very mad at myself. So anyway, and I mean, Remi was so keen to track him out after the shot, and there's nothing I can do. So anyway, that's just the way bow hunting goes. I'll be back out here again, doing it again next week, but part of me wishes I brought the rifle today, because I've been letting a lot of stags go that I could have shot with the rifle, and I've been trying to get one with the bow, and very frustrating, but it'll be worth it in the end. It's just another chapter to the story, and anyway, hopefully next time. Well, I'm not gonna lie if I said I was pretty surprised to have this bloke down on the ground. Unfortunately, for the most part, I didn't have a camera going because I never thought I was going to see him again. So between now and the last time I was talking to the camera has been 2 hours of just following misty blood. Remi had a trail on, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to follow Rem and see what happens. I guessed that he was going to survive, and looking at where it hit, he would have survived. I've only just nicked his leg, but it must have been a minor artery that's been hit. So Remi's just kept scent trailing that misty blood, and we're getting further and further down into the gully, and it's getting thicker and thicker, and I thought, you know, there's no way we're gonna get a second shot at this guy. There's no way. So I kept going anyway, and sure enough, 2 hours later, I find myself 10 yards from the stag. Remi had semi-bailed him, and I got another arrow into him, and he's ran probably 50 meters, and here he is. So I'm lost for words. I'm in shock. I wish I had the camera rolling, because it was honestly one of the most exciting hunts that I've ever done, and this stag means absolute world to me, to go from the huge frustration and low after I realised I'd stuffed the shot up. I'd underestimated how far he was, and you know, you're just going, you're replaying it in your head, wishing you'd take back time, and anyone that's a hunter that's stuffed up before will know the feeling. You just wish that you could take it back and rectify it, but I never thought I was going to have another chance at him. And Remi, I really owe this stag to her, and I've got a mate coming down to help cape him out, because I mean, he's not the biggest head in the world, but I would not have got another shot at him if it wasn't for Remi. So I don't know if you can see her in frame there, but she's just an awesome dog. She's only a bit over 9 months old, and I think this is the fourth deer with the bow. And you know, He's not a bad stag, so I'm over the moon. I'm lost for words, and I'm going to apologise for the lack of footage, but all I can say is I don't know what's going to compete with this hunt, because this has just been insane.